Hello and welcome to the VOLCANOIDS gameplay tutorial for pre-alpha. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. The main goal. Main goal of the game is to silence the volcano by disabling enemy cog drawships placed around the island. The number of enemy drawships that still have to be deactivated is visible on the left top corner. To find the important locations, see the map by pressing M. All triangle icons mean an important location. Yellow triangles represent cog drawships you have to reach and disable, while colored triangles represent location of technology components you need for upgrading your drawship. A very basic version of this tutorial is also available through the F1 key in the game. Navigation. To find out what's your current location, always check the HUD marker on your drawship. The number tells you the landing site where your ship is parked. Now open the map again to see where you are and what the traveling options are. Traveling. Let's travel to a better spot on the map. To order the ship to travel to a new landing site, set the number on autopilot, decide if you want to stay underground once reached or go directly to surface, and press go. Ship will now pack and be on its way. If you don't want to watch the animations, you can always press escape or disable them in the options. During the travel time, you can walk around the ship, look up inventory, and plan your next steps. Traveling limitations. Once you decide to travel into other areas of the island, you'll find out that the drawship is not able to do so. You have to first upgrade the drawship, and only then drawship is able to reach landing sites in other areas. Eruption. Drawship's ability to go underground is not used only for traveling. When first earthquake happens and sirens go off, you have to run for your life and hide underground. Volcano erupts in frequent intervals and you have to make sure you are safe from the blast wave when that happens. Otherwise you get hit and the game is over. To hide quickly, just press the save me button as soon as you can. For those that are curious about what is happening on surface, use the periscope. Mining. Let's get some materials so that we can start building and upgrading the drawship. To equip the mining tool, press 2. Each area has multiple types of materials, some for powering the drawship, other for production and research purposes. Every material has a location marker that helps player to spot spawn locations. Each time you see a large rock with a color, it means a specific type of ore spawns around. Lava pools on surface and inside caves spawn rare material used for complex devices. So make sure you visit the lava caves each time you run out, rather than trying to find some on the surface of the island. If a village or tech structure is nearby, it often has scrap material or even technology components around it. Production. Now that we have the materials, we are going to return to the drawship. Make sure you have no tool equipped by pressing the tilde key. Cargo. Start with placing all the materials into a cargo module. Then make sure the module is opened and running by clicking on it with left mouse button or pressing the T key. Every open cargo module shares its inventory in so-called online cargo. That means you have access to all items from one place and don't have to remember where you placed the items. This only works as long as the cargo module is opened. If you close it, the items are no longer visible in online cargo and control stations can't use it for production. Crafting. Production of base materials, new modules and research always follows the same rules. Every module or control station uses online cargo, and if items are not available they can't produce anything. This means you have to make sure that cargo modules are opened as well while production is running. Modules placed on the side of the ship work as devices doing the job given by control stations. The more modules of a kind, the faster production goes. Also, the more control stations, the more items can be produced in the same time. Each type of production has its own modules and own control stations. Refinery is marked with red color and makes ingots from raw materials. Research is marked with green color and uses technology components to produce upgrades for the drawship. Production is marked with blue color and makes everything from basic components to new modules. Each time the same rule applies. If you want to do a production, modules of that specific type must be opened. Here is an example. You have production module opened and production station active, while the refinery control station is not working because no refinery module is opened. Drillship stats. When production is active, you have to make sure you have enough energy and that ship core can handle the amount of opened modules. Check the core stats panel once in a while to make sure you are in green numbers. If you run out of energy, all production stops and waits until energy is produced. The balance indicator tells you if the required energy is higher than produced, or if there is a balance in the consumption. The core slots, on the other hand, represent how many modules can be opened in the same time. Each module has different slot count, and you have to find the ideal group of opened modules for specific purposes. Module layouts. Since you need to react fast and open groups of modules as needed, there are state saver devices allowing you to save or load specific group of open modules. To make a group, just walk around the ship and open only modules belonging to the group. Then click the Save button on a state selector to create the group. From now on, click the Load button each time you need to activate the modules. For example, you have refinery layout with open refinery module, cargo module and power plant module. Then you have layout only for quick energy production, with cargo module and 3 power plant modules. If you want a group to be automatically active each time drillship lands somewhere, check the Is Default option. Upgrades. Now let's upgrade the drillship so that we can produce new items or travel to different areas. Upgrade items are obtained by researching technology items in Research Control Station. As mentioned before, you find these technology items in areas with red, green or blue triangles marked on the map. Each time you produce an upgrade, you have to place it into the ship's core in order to activate it. You can get to the ship's core menu from any inventory screen inside the drillship. Once there, you can drag and drop upgrades into the screen. They will place itself automatically to the correct slots. In order to travel to different areas, the drill, tracks and hull must have the same level as the area you are traveling to. Building. Finally, we got to a point where we produce our first module and can place it on the drillship. Equip the build tool by pressing 1 and make sure you have the items in character's inventory. We are going to place the side module, which means we have to look at the side wall and keep scrolling the mouse wheel until module shows up. Click the left mouse button to place. Use right mouse button to remove objects if needed, but removed objects are destroyed. You can build several types of objects where each has its specific placement. Check the small pictogram icon, it will tell you how the object is placed. Cog wheel means it's a module that is placed on the side or top of the drillship. Box-like icon means it's a furniture device and can be placed anywhere on the floor of the drillship, including the upper floors. White square means a construction and has to be placed in frames. In general, walls have to be placed in vertical, while floors in horizontal frames. Be sure you are placing the up wall into the top frames, while down wall into bottom frames. Each time you want to select different object of a type, keep looking at the desired placement and scroll the mouse wheel. That's all for now. Hope you found this tutorial useful and informative. Please, if you have any suggestions or comments on anything inside the game or the tutorials, use the Send Feedback button from the main menu. We want to make this game as good as possible and your feedback will help us a great deal. Thank you for watching and hope you will enjoy the game. One of the biggest issues in pre-alpha were the quality settings that automatically went with lowest option. That caused a lot of visual bugs, especially with objects showing up and hiding on close distance. Now when you start the game, you get the configuration window. We went through all the settings and made sure they are set up properly, so that no matter what you choose, the gameplay will be the same. Second biggest issue were the caves, with blinding lights and overbright drillship interior. We adjusted the effects and fixed the inside of the ship to make sure you can see all the controls. Next to fixing the bugs, we also added more HUD markers and notifications to make the game more accessible. Everything that can be mined has now a marker with icon and name. Then, drillship notifies you when you run out of energy or if a module you want to open is blocked because of no available core slots. Building also got few improvements. Now you can see right away what is built and if it can be placed. Next to that, control stations and other furniture have names written on them and in the menu. Next to accessibility improvements, we also added more help info. The main menu now contains direct YouTube links to tutorial and gameplay video. The F1 help screen has been improved with more pages and again direct link to tutorial. The F1 screens were also added on boards and placed around the ship. We hope it helps new players with getting into the game. If you already know all that stuff, feel free to remove them with the build tool. Now let's cover some new features added to the game. Lava and water became way more dangerous now, and if you are not careful, the game will end for you. Each time sides of the screen become red, fall back, otherwise you might get burned by lava or drown. Next are floors that were supposed to be part of the first release but got lost. I apologize for that. From now on you can build and place floors as any other object. Another feature is items being placed in inventory when removed by build tool. So now you can easily change positions of objects and play with different device setups. When a new update is out next time, you just download the new installer and run it the same way. It will update the old game already on your drive. Updater is not planned right now, since it will be handled by Steam in the future. Game improvements for this update are light indicators on every module. Opening module is flashing yellow while closing red. There was a lot of confusion caused by slow response of modules on player's action. The reason is that the module has to first finish the run animation and only then play the open or close animation. The light indicators are separate from that and can inform player instantly. Another improvement is effect that plays when eruption wave hits player or periscope. It makes the transformation of island smoother after volcano erupts and whole island is covered in dust. More info is in the changelog on Discord. Now for the bug fixes. The volcano now erupts when timer reaches 0. The technology components now always spawn in the marked locations. It caused a lot of confusion among players, so the tech will always be there if player looks for it. The future plans for tech is that the only way to obtain tech parts is to attack cogged drillships. Refinery module energy consumption was fixed as it used only 5% of what other modules were taking. You might need to adjust your state savers now, as the energy levels could be depleted much faster. Also, large rocks were added to block unwanted pitfalls on the map, so that the players no longer get stuck. Hello and welcome to another pre-alpha update. The chest is no longer just a component you need to build in order to get the cargo module. From now on it's an object you can place inside a drillship. The chest is not part of the production system and has no access to online cargo. It functions mainly as storage of items that are not needed right now, but could be used in the future. For example, few stacks of coal as a backup in case you ran out of energy and had no coal available in cargo modules. Or just store ingots of lower tier materials next to work table in case you would like to craft something during waiting underground. The build tool now has icon of what you are about to build. Plus, if you decide to remove an object, it has a progress bar informing you about the action. Once object removed, icon is shown in a similar way as if you are mining, to indicate an object was added to player's inventory. When the build tool equipped, the green highlight means you can interact with object, while orange means it can be removed. Sometimes you have to look at the object from different angles if you want to remove it. Drillship devices got improvements as well. Control stations now have tabs that make it easier to navigate between the icons. From now on, if you build a module, it will open automatically. For those that would prefer the module to stay closed, the core menu now holds option to disable the automatic opening. Next to this option, you can now set loudness of the warning siren. The HUD marker of the drillship is changed to be smaller and contain only icon and the landing site number. The plan for all the island state effects is to make them continuously blend from one to another. In this update we added blend from island covered in dust to green landscape. The grass is regrowing and dust texture fades out until it reaches the point it was before the eruption. There is still a lot of work on the trees to be done the same way, but that will be added in the future. Next to improved visuals, it also greatly helps the performance and removes the big lag each time island switches states. A lot of bug fixing was done as well. For complete list, please check the changelog in Discord's What's New channel. To mention at least few of them, smoke particle effects on modules got optimized and work properly when turned on and off. Before there was just a hard cut in the mid-air. Cargo modules have fixed texts and are rebalanced to make it worth building higher tiers. Also, items that are thrown out of inventory are destroyed. This will be adjusted in the future to allow exchange of items with other players, looting and stuff like that. Hello and welcome to another pre-alpha update. The island got another improvement in form of a dust that covers everything on the surface. The illusion of area covered in dust is complete now, as every single object from a stone, house and tree is covered in grey ash. As the time goes on, ash is slowly fading out and island smoothly turns green again. This smooth transition solved the lags between island states, as trees and rocks don't have to be exchanged by other models. The biggest improvement was done on trees, as they no longer switch models but regrow back into their original state. In previous updates you could easily tell when a state switches, based on trees suddenly changing their shape. But now the transition is perfect. When eruption happens, each tree gets random values for missing branches and dust amount, and slowly grows back, turning green. On this example, you can see how details are affected over time, and dust fades out to uncover the original color. Big improvement is visible on houses and large rocks, as they no longer stick out from the terrain because of not having dust on surface. Now everything on the island is equally covered, and better supports the effect of pyroclastic wave going over the entire island. Also, lava pools now cool down over time, and smoothly goes from blazing to cooled lava pool. There was a lot of work done on the submarine as well. The feature is not finished, so don't try to find it on the map yet. This is mainly showcase of the work in progress. Submarine model got a lot of improvements, especially on the top part and interior. The model and all its parts are finished at this point and ready for feature implementations once we get to it. The submarine will hold tutorial quests and work as player's safe house. Before we get to actually implement the quest system, we need to do a lot of testing with the submarine placeholder asset and see how the quests could work. What would be the order of quests and what player will encounter during that time. Ideally, tutorial quests should work for both single and multiplayer modes, so that everyone that joins the game has a chance to learn the mechanics and is not left behind clueless what to do. To another VOLCANOIDS pre-alpha update. The game got completely new look, with updated GUI in all screens. All the main menu screens and in-game screens follow the same visual style. Control stations now have wider selection menu and shows the state of the production. If you don't have the required module or items are missing, you will find out from the console below the progress bar. Player's HUD has also been improved. A toolbar shows available tool options, and all HUD markers now snap to the sides of the screen to ensure player always sees them. Together with the GUI screens, every item now has new icon. Based on the feedback from the community, we designed them to better represent their type and tier level. All modules have a square plate with bronze, silver and gold variation. Upgrades then look as a cogwheel with the same color scheme as the modules. Everything else has a small image of the object. The icons also had to be designed in a way to work well with the control station displays. Next to improved GUI, control stations also got a small change on the model itself, in form of a light indicator and error message. If the item can't be produced for a reason, the light goes red and specific error message shows up. We hope this will help with setting up production lines and easier recognition of why things are not working. Objects that can be built are now in item groups to simplify the placement process. Modules no longer have top and side item. You just decide if you want to place it on side or top. The same applies for deconstruction and allows you to easily change the module setup. All door and window modules are now under one item, so if you decide you want a double window instead of a door, deconstruct the door module and scroll the mouse wheel until the window shows up. This improvement was added also to walls that no longer require special item for upper and lower frames. Now it's completely up to you. Just make sure you always scroll the mouse wheel when changing placement position to get the updated object for the new placement. You might have noticed that the windows were not added when the module was placed. That's because we also updated the way details like ladders or windows work. From now on you have to create them separately and place manually. They will no longer appear with the door or window module. So for example, if you want to have a door, you have to place door frame module, build the door item and place it with the build tool. Or you can take the doors from somewhere else. Also, doors are no longer required in the receipts for module construction. Hello and welcome to another release video. We are happy to announce that the quests are ready and we can't wait to see what community thinks about them. The game should be much easier to follow now, without the need to watch video tutorials and quickly memorize all the features. We hope that more players will enjoy the game and finish it all the way to the end. Although we had more or less final structure of the quests already, we got delayed by solving issues with saving the game and quests that were too easy to break if player did something that was not expected. Huge thanks goes to Discord close testing group for finding bugs and helping to shape the quests. Their feedback was vital for adjusting the quest structure. Thank you guys. The main goal of this release is to help players finish the game step by step. The quests are focused on the very basics that player needs to know, where the first quests are very detailed, while the further player gets, the more general description is given. We are aware the game might seem too easy to finish at this point, as the only danger is the volcano eruption. But the difficulty will increase once enemy NPCs are added and actively defend their areas. At this point, we will wait for community feedback and adjust the quests based on that. Maybe some parts of the quests turned out to be too detailed, while others too general. But since the quest system is very flexible, we can easily adjust and create new quests on the fly. To summarize all that is new, player now begins on the submarine and hunts down a damaged drawship. This drawship becomes player's main base, that is improved and upgraded during the player's path towards the main goal. The submarine is always there waiting in the harbor, functioning as starter base with basic equipment and storage options. It is also home of your captain, guiding you through the game. Another improvement is that drawship remembers what modules were opened before traveling, which should solve the confusion why production behaves differently after ship moved from point to point. Also, final screen now contains analytics from player's gameplay, so the race for fastest playthrough can begin. Destruction of modules, ship sections and ship ownership has been shown in last devlog video, so check it out if you didn't see it. As this is the first iteration of quests, it might happen you get into a dead end. If that's the case, try to abandon the quest and take it again. Ideally, please send us feedback message about how you managed to break the quest. We try to make the quests error-proof, so that they always get player back on track, but there is still a lot of work to be done. For the next quest iteration, we plan to improve the quest line and captain dialogues. That will be changed to be more about discovering what really happened on the island, because right now the captain pretty much knows everything and just directs the player. The current development of the game is focused at implementing enemy drawships and enemy NPC characters. Navigation and behavior of the NPC units is the main goal. The enemy will be able to attack player and follow even into a drawship. Surfaced enemy drawships will be always guarding an area and deploy enemy units to specific locations, including active defense of lava cave structures. That's all for this week. Hope you will enjoy this new version, and please continue with the feedback and bug reports. It helps to make the game better. If you would like to play the game, join the VOLCANOIDS Discord linked in the description to get the download link. Thank you for watching and see you next time.